What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over talking about where the auction house is currently at post locker code from yesterday, post downtown super packs, which I do want to say, do I think the value of these right here are bad? Honestly, I don't think they're good. Just got to be honest, but it's important to note you have an equal chance super pack downtown player at the end of this thing. So what does that mean? You have basically a 25% chance out of this pack to pull Rudy. Now, again, do I think it's worth it? No. I'm never going to sit up here and say it's worth it, but I can't hate on it, right? I ultimately can't hate on it. And honestly, because of it, I honestly think Rudy's price isn't going to be that outrageous, which again, is important to make note of. Do I think Rudy is worth the price? No. But again, it's important to make note of. So let's go over it. Let's talk about it. Obviously, 100 overalls came out yesterday in bulk. I got Dwight Howard as well as Patrick Ewing. But the overall price of 100 overalls doesn't seem like it's changed that much. Now, for a lot of the lower tiered ones, like, Oscar, like Ray Allen, like Patrick Ewing, like Dwight Howard, their prices are relatively cheap. Looks like Mitch Richmond flew out of packs at an insanely high rate, insanely high level. I expect his price to be decently expensive. But as far as good 100 overalls, guys, they're still going to be expensive. It's the same thing for good dark matters. They are still going to be expensive. It doesn't look like the prices of a lot of these cards has really went down a ton, and that stinks. For a lot of people who wanted to, build their team around this type of a drop, that stinks. Even the Invincibles, right? It says Giannis was in Super Packs today. It says Wemby's in Super Packs today. But realistically, it doesn't appear as though a lot of those cards are being pulled at a high rate whatsoever. If an Invincible is being pulled 9 times out of 10, it's Rudy, right? There's so many more Rudys pulled than anybody else. And as far as Wemby and Giannis are concerned, there's literally been none of them pulled. Now, mind you, it says, if you go in here and you view the cards, it says that Giannis is supposed to be available. It says Wemby is supposed to be available, yet nobody is happening to pull those cards. Weird, right? It's weird how this game does ultimately work, but that's kind of where we're at as it stands right now. As far as prices, hasn't really crashed a ton, even with the 100 overall locker code, even with super packs. And I would attribute a lot of the reason it's not crashing, and this is just me in my opinion, but I would attribute at least a decent amount of that to the fact that, guess what, guys? At the end of the day, and again, this is just my opinion, it is still easy to make MT off of this event right now in the game. Now, again, this is just my personal opinion. A lot of people might not agree with it. I think it is so easy to make MT off of, the event right now in this game. And so that's another reason the auction house has not crashed a whole ton. Now, again, I do recommend you guys getting the legend badges, getting the 10 bucks. But after that, I'm a firm believer that the best thing to do with the event is to downgrade and get as much MT as possible. Now, I know, again, a lot of people are going to be like, really, Ty? Is that really the move? But that's what I've been doing, and honestly, I've made a lot of MT off of that. Now, with all of the MT that is circulating in the game, I think that is as big of a reason as anything else why the auction house hasn't really seen a drastic shift, and why post 100 overall locker code, post, super packs today, the auction house is still insanely expensive. Now, I will say some of the newer cards, and we'll break them down here in a second. But like Rudy, for an Invincible, I actually don't even think is that crazily priced. Now, again, that's just my opinion. A lot of people might disagree with me on that, but I don't think Rudy is that high in price. And even with the new downtown cards, Mitch Richmond, I don't think is going to be that crazy in price. Artis Gilmore, his price is going to continue to go down throughout today because there are a lot of Artis Gilmores up. Isn't that crazy being priced? Now, Mark Price, I don't think is that great. But he's 50,000 MT. I mean, and for that price, is he worth that 40,000 MT? No, but he's not that bad. And so that's another thing that I'm trying to figure out today is who is all being pulled. Looks like there's a ton of Rick Barrys being pulled today as well. And again, those are the types of guys that might be worth your time to at least look at possibly picking up. And even for myself, I'm probably not going to buy, an Invincible Rudy. But in the back of my mind, it's an Invincible Rudy is not nearly as expensive as some of these other invincibles and is incredibly good. And so those are the things that right now I'm at least thinking about for myself is it worth it to pick up any of these new cards today, especially like an Artis Gilmore, maybe even a money Mitch Richmond at that point guard position, who I actually think isn't that crazy high in price. And you guys can look for yourself, see if you like Mitch Richmond, see if you like any of the other options here, and what works for you guys. But for me, the auction house isn't really seeing a drastic shift. I was hoping today it would go down in a big time way, but I honestly, I think there's just way too much empty in circulation. And is that an excuse? Maybe, right? Like that just might be my coping mechanism of why the auction house isn't going down. Because I thought with the 100 overall locker code, with obviously, you know, the super packs coming today, I thought maybe, just maybe, that prices would get somewhat more affordable, but it's just really not. And it's crazy that, you know, we get, the best locker code in a very long time, which basically solves a position, no matter basically who you are in the game, unless you have the best team in the game. Like for me, I got Dwight Howard. He can solve my power forward position for now, right? He's not perfect, but he can solve it for now. And so whoever was my power forward in the past, same thing on my no money spent, I went and sold Rudy Gobert. And so maybe those type of guys, I guess, are getting cheaper. And that's, I mean, I could look and see, are those type of guys getting cheaper? Like, is a Jack Sigma going way down in price? But it just does not seem like there's that much movement as far as prices in the auction house right now. It just doesn't. It seems like everything is basically set, and it's just not moving a whole ton. So that's just kind of what I'm seeing right now. I wish I could sit up here and tell you, you know, it's a great day to buy in the auction house. And I'm not trying to sit up here and say it's horrible, but it's just like, it's sad when you think, well, maybe today is going to be the day that I'm going to be able to buy some cards in the auction house, and it's not the case. Even like I said yesterday, I went and sold my Michael Jordan because I'm like, eventually 100 overall Michael Jordan is going to lose the value he has. But as it stands right now, that's not the case. Like his value is, it's not really lost. His value is the basically same, if not more, than it ultimately was yesterday. So again, it's kind of sad. Hopefully, eventually, things, change and we're not, continuing this train, forever where cards are just overpriced. But I can't sit up here and tell you when it's going to change because I don't know. Like I genuinely don't. So it's where we're at right now. I guess my basically method is use basically the cards that you have that are unsellables first and then build around them. So like around them, I've got Wemby, I've got Kareem. Like I've got a lot of really solid cards. And then it just comes down to around them trying to build your squad out. So like my squad, it's pretty decent right now. It's pretty solid. Obviously, again, my small forward position's not very good. My shooting guard position's not very good. But at the end of the day, if you've got guys that can play, you might as well use them. So that's kind of my piece of advice for you guys, my piece of recommendation. It is what it is. I wish today I could tell you the auction house went down a ton. And honestly, again, if you like opening packs, I think these super packs are better values than anything else. But it's not really crashing prices in the auction house, which is crazy to me. It's crazy to me that it's not because, again, you'd think that eventually prices would go down, but we're almost in June and prices really haven't gone down a whole ton. Now, I will say Pink Diamond Wemby looks super inexpensive right now. So if you can find a way to snipe a souped up Pink Diamond Wemby, that might be a move for you guys at that center position. Now, again, try to find the right one. Like that one's got 24 Hall of Famers. I still don't know if he's worth it, right? But he's at least worth a look. Try to find, cards that fit what you are trying to do and accomplish on your squad. But that's just kind of what I would leave you with today, as the auction house is just insanely expensive still to this day. For me, that's going to wrap it up. Auction house still high. Nothing really has changed for me. Just going to continue to grind, try to earn as much MT as possible for the time being. That's going to wrap it up for our video. Drop a like on it. Subscribe if you are doing. As always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.